Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Let's just start digging right into it. And we're going to break down the 140-pound division. This is the first part in a huge series. We're going to pretty much break down as many, weight classes in boxing as possible. And shout out to Watsi Rahman. I told you we're going to honor that request, brother. And so we're going to just start off with Maurice Hooker. Maurice Hooker is 26-0, 3 draws, 17 knockouts. He's 29 years old. He's 5'11". He's an orthodox fighter with an 80-inch reach. Maurice Hooker is, taking on in a unification fight coming this Saturday. Jose Ramirez. And Jose Ramirez is 24-0 with 16 knockouts. He's 26 years old. He's 5'10" with a 72.5-inch reach. So this is going to be an excellent title unification. He's the WBC champion, and Maurice Hooker is the WBO champion. And this shows a lot that Top Rank and ESPN Top Rank and Matchroom and DAZN is all working together to make this fight happen. And I think that this is going to be a close fight. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think the only thing that edges this fight in Maurice Hooker's favor is his power. And I believe, I don't know if Jose Ramirez can take the shots or not, ultimately when the fight gets in the late rounds. But I do know that Maurice Hooker, I feel like he's just a little bit stronger than Jose Ramirez, but I know Jose Ramirez is going to come with a fantastic game plan because he's coming from the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy, and those guys always bring their fighters to fight. I mean, you look at Josecito Lopez versus Keith Thurman, so this is going to be a fantastic and entertaining fight, and I think that, that Maurice Hooker edges this fight. I don't think it'll be about a lot. I think it's a close fight, but I'm going to pick Maurice Hooker. So we're going to just keep it going. And then you have Regis Prograis, who's 24-0 with 20 knockouts. He's 30 years old. He's a southpaw. He's 5'8" with a 67-inch reach. And so then you see that he's the WBA champion, and he's going to be taking on Josh Taylor, who's 15-0, has 12 knockouts. He's the IBF champion. He's 28 years old. He's a southpaw. He's 5'10" with a 69.5-inch reach. And they've just announced that that's going to happen. Their rematch with their match in the World Boxing Super Series. So that's going to be an interesting fight. I think Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor is another 50-50 fight. And I think that I'm going to lean towards Regis Prograis in that fight. I think Josh Taylor has all the abilities in the world to beat Prograis, but I think Prograis' power has shown to be consistent, and I think that Josh Taylor has shown that he can get hit a little too much at times. And so I think that's going to ultimately be the deciding factor in that fight. And then you look at Mikey Garcia, who should be fighting at 140 pounds. You see him in the discussions with Eddie Hearn, and they're talking about the potential of him fighting at 140. So we're going to break down Mikey Garcia as the wild card, the X factor of the 140 division. And Mikey Garcia has a record of 39-1 with 30 knockouts. Mikey Garcia is 31 years old. He's an orthodox fighter, 5'6" with a 68-inch reach. He's already proven at 140, being a former world champion. So I think 140 makes the perfect weight class for Mikey Garcia, and I think that he's competitive with each and every guy at 140. And depending how he comes back, all of these guys are undefeated. And so you have to think that this is the best crop of fighters, probably one of the best divisions there is in boxing. And Mikey Garcia is an elite level of talent at 135 or 140, not at 147. Mikey Garcia needs to move away from 147 because it just doesn't suit him. But at 140, he can make a lot of super fights and potentially go for a run of being undisputed or having a super fight with a unified champion of the winner of Jose Ramirez and Maurice Hooker, or a unified champion against the Prograis versus Taylor, and even for one of these guys, a loss doesn't end their career, doesn't make them a bad fighter, because you can bounce back from a loss. All of these guys are undefeated, so at least two of them are about to take a loss. This is an exciting division. It's only heating up right now. I'm favoring Regis Prograis to take over the division at this point, but that is subject to change, seeing how what happens with him and Josh Taylor, or seeing what happens with Mikey Garcia coming in the division. Because if Mikey Garcia comes in the division, I don't know if Regis Prograis beats Mikey. I think that's a very, very close fight, and I think Mikey Garcia has a lot of power, and you can tell Mikey Garcia has a lot of power, because if Mikey Garcia had no power, Errol Spence Jr. wouldn't have stayed away from him at 147. He wouldn't have, Errol Spence Jr. was reluctant to trade shots with Mikey Garcia, because, whether he heard about the power, but he felt it in the ring, and that's why he tried to use his height and reach. You've never seen Errol Spence Jr. do that against any other opponent. Yes, he outboxed him and dominated him for 12 rounds, but he would not sit and trade with him. And you have to understand, he did that with welterweights, full-fledged welterweights, but he wouldn't do it with the guy moving up from 135. You have to respect Mikey Garcia, whether you like him or not. This is an exciting division, and he is a wild card. Once again, Unbiased, as always, is the IBFP. Please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.